You're still under oath, Mr. van Rensburg?
Hier is nog steeds onder eed om die waarheid te praten, nee.
Dis reg.
That is correct, my lady.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
May it please the court, lady. Colonel, I would like to refer you to photo 111 in Exhibit D in front of you, please.
Meneer, ik zal u graag naar foto 111 verwijzen. En dat is de bier. Die fotoalbum voor u.
You can also look at the screen if you...
Kijk naar die scherm, meneer.
You already testified yesterday that that window was open.
Ik had reeds gister getuigd dat hij venster oor geweest het, nee.
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
Did you investigate that open window?
Het u die oorvenster onderzoek?
Dit is reg hier. Ek het gekyk of daar enige false entry, iemand wat probeer het inkom in die vensterraam probeer beskadig is.
Okay. My lady, I did check just to see as to whether there was any forced entry, as the witness says it in English, or whether somebody tampered with the window. Wat nog?
Ek het ook self by die venster uitgekyk.
I also looked out the window.
Om seker te maak of daar enige manier van buitekant is dat iemand kon deur die venster kom.
Just to ascertain as to whether there was any means in which somebody from outside could have gained entry through that window.
Die venster, die vlak is hoog, is op die eerste vlak en daar was geen manier dat iemand sonder met die hulp van 'n leer by die venster sou kon inkom.
The level is high, my ladies, on the first floor, and there was no other means in which somebody could have gained access into the house through that window.
Daar was ook geen merke of enige iets teen die leer teen die muur wat gestaan het wat dit kon aandui dat iemand ingekom het.
And there weren't any other objects or something that might have indicated that somebody could have used in gaining entry through the said window.
In that same album, you get page 2, photo 168.
In diezelfde album, kijk naar foto nummer 168.
Is that the bathroom window one can see there on the first?
Is daar die badkamerse venster wat mensen kunnen zien?
Dit is reg hier.
Of the house, the one that is depicted on the picture.
And that's what you saw today?
Is dat wat meneer hier betrokken daar gezien heeft?
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
And so we were at photograph 119.
Hier was bij foto nummer 19.
119.
119.
When we adjourned yesterday.
Toen ons gister vandaag het.
If we turn to photograph 120.
Gaan naar nummer 120 toe. Yes, sir.
Ek het hom, dankie.
Is that what you saw today?
Is dat wat meneer die betrokken daar gezien heeft?
Dit is reg eerlik.
That is correct, my lady.
And that panel in front of you?
En die paneel voor u?
You identify it?
Kan je dit identificeren?
Dit is reg eerlik, die paneel was so gewees.
That is correct, my lady. The panel was in this manner.
En op 'n later stadium toe ons die panele opgetel het op die toneel.
And at a later stage when we picked up these panels at the scene,
was daar menslike weefsel. Ek dink dit my afleiding was geweest maar van die kopwond.
There was human tissue, in my opinion, my lady, it could have been tissue from the head.
Aan die onderkant van die paneel. So dit wil sê, soos die paneel so lê, die gedeelte waar die paneel op die grond is.
Underneath the panel. The panel underneath, on which the panel is lying.
Now, if one has a look at photograph 120 on the wall on the right-hand side of the photograph,
Meneer, as jy na foto
those
nummer
blood
1
marks were there?
Kijk, aan die muur, aan die rechterkant.
You see that?
Zie je dat?
Ja, ja.
And that was there the day.
Dit
Het was daar,
Dit was
die
daar.
betrokken dag. Yes, het was die.
If we turn the page to paragraph
draai op.
121,
Naar 121 toe.
that's a close-up of those
Dis
marks
die
on
dis
the
'n nader foto hier.
That is correct, my lady. This is a close-up photo.
122.
122.
That indicates the toilet.
Dat bewijst die toilet, nee.
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
Do you remember that being in the exact same condition when you were there first on the scene?
U onthoudt dat het in diezelfde conditie geweest dat op die betrokken dag toen we die toilet geweest.
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady. That's how I found this toilet.
The damage to the wall behind the toilet, did you
En die
see that?
beschadiging achter die muur van die toilet, zie je dat?
Dit is reg hier. Dit is die beskadiging van die projektiel van die patrone wat hier gegaan het.
That is correct, my lady. That is the damage which was caused by the projector which went through.
Photograph 123,
123.
that magazine rack, can you remember that being in that
Die
exact
boekas
same?
zien niet dat onthou je dat het in die toilet geweest is.
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
124, did you look inside the toilet?
Het die binnen die toilet gekeken?
Ja, ek het binne in die toilet gekyk.
Yes, my lady, I did look inside the toilet.
Then, Colonel, the close-up of photographs that perhaps not that important now. If you would turn to photograph 132.
Draai naar foto nummer 132 toe. Yes, sir.
You have already confirmed that that was the position that the body was in when you arrived at the scene.
Nee, die het al reeds aan gedaan dat het die positie geweest het waar die lijk aan geweest het. Die dag toe op die toneel gearriveerd het.
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
The same with 133.
En diezelfde is soos 133.
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
134 as well.
134. Diezelfde.
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
There's in 135 it's a close-up of the deceased head.
Op foto nummer 135 is een nadere foto van die oorledene se kop, nee.
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
Is that what you saw?
Is dat wat jy gezien het?
Dis wat ek waargeneem het eerder.
That's what I observed, my lady. What I saw.
The same with photograph 136.
En diezelfde geldt met foto nummer 136.
Dit is reg nie.
That is correct, my lady.
And 137.
En 137.
Dit is so.
That is so, my lady.
Is that the head wound? Oh,
Is het nou die kopwond?
Dis die kopwond.
That is the head wound, my lady. Of the deceased.
we'll just go through it. For completeness sake, 138 you also confirm?
Gaan die hier het 138 bevestig hier het ook?
Dit is so.
That is so.
Wat gevind het.
That's how I found the head to be.
139.
139.
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
Same with 140.
Dat geldt ook voor 140.
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct.
141 is a close-up of the deceased
141 is een nadere
closed
foto
eye.
aan die oog. Wat toe is?
Dit is reg nie.
Dat is correct.
Now in 142,
142.
did you see that one?
Het jy daai wond gesien?
142. Ja, eerlik, ek het hom gesien.
Yes,
Arm, regterarm.
I saw this wound on the right lumbar,
Arm.
on the arm, yes.
143 is
143
a close-up of that wound.
is
Now
een nadere foto van diezelfde wond.
144, can you remember having seen that one?
Onthou je dat die wond gezien hebt op 144?
Nee, hierdie wond nie.
No, not this wound, my lady.
Okay. Then on 150,
51?
Nee, ek het ook nie hierdie foto's.
No, my lady, I also didn't see this photo.
okay,
Nou die beserings nie.
Or this injury.
that's fine. Let us turn to photo 155.
Kom ons bly om na foto 155.
That's a photograph of the accused.
Dis die beskuldigde se foto, nee.
Where was that taken?
Waar was die foto geneem?
Ja, dis 'n foto van die beskuldigde.
Yes, my lady, this is the photo of the accused. En waar was dit geneem?
Hierdie foto is geneem nadat die beskuldigde van die kombuis geskuif is na die garage toe.
This photo was taken after the accused was shifted from the kitchen to the garage.
Now, on that photo, the accused had no shirt on.
En die foto het hy nie hemp aan nie, nee.
Dit is reg.
That is correct.
And that's how you found him today.
En dis hoe jy hom hier betrokke dag gevind het.
Ek het hom gevind met sonder hemp,
I found him without a shirt.
met die kortbroek aan,
With the shorts on,
met sy kunsbene aan.
with his artificial lumps on.
Maar daar was meer bloed aan sy voorkant van sy lyf.
But there was more blood on the front part of his body.
If one have a look at 157,
Kyk na foto 157.
can you remember the blood there?
Onthou jy die bloed wat daar gewees het?
Dit is reg, Edith.
That is correct, my lady.
Die hoeveelheid bloed wat basies hier in die linkerarm van hom verskyn, is 'n vergelyking wat op die voorkant van hom was.
The amount of blood which is depicted on his body as on the photo was as much the same amount which was on the front part of his body.
Ek sal nie sê die hoeveelheid nie, ek sal sê die verskynsel, die appearance.
I would say the appearance, not actually the amount, my lady.
Now, Colonel, after you've gone through the scene on the first floor, what did you do then?
Toe u nou die toneel op die eerste verdieping gesien het, wat het u gedoen?
Ek het weer afgegaan na die kombuis toe waar die beskuldigde was.
You was proceeded to the kitchen once more where the accused was.
Ek het aan die beskuldigde gevra of hulle alleen in die huis was.
I asked the accused as to whether they were alone inside the house.
Ek het vir hom, hy het my geantwoord en gesê ja, hulle was alleen.
He responded by saying yes, they were alone.
Ek het vir hom gesê in lig van dit wat ek bo gesien het,
I told him that in light of what I saw at the top,
verwysing na die misdaadtoneel,
referring to the crime scene,
dat ek hom op daai stadium as 'n verdagte beskou.
that I take him as or I observe him as a suspect at that stage.
Ek het hom volgens regtersreëls gewaarsku.
I warned him according to his rights or the judge's rules,
Met die verskil wat ek vir hom gesê het, ek arresteer hom nog nie.
with the difference that I said to him that I wasn't arresting him at that stage.
Hoekom op daai stadium ek dit gedoen het, is die rede van daar is nog inligting wat opgevolg moet word.
The reason why I did that at that stage, my lady, was because there were still some information which had to be followed up.
En om doodseker te maak dat ek die regte feite het,
And to make quite sure that I was in possession of the right facts
voordat ek hom arresteer,
before I could arrest him,
het ek hom versoek dat hy teenwoordig moet bly op die toneel.
I requested him to remain present at all times at the scene.
This discussion with the accused, where did that take place?
Die bespreking tussen die beskuldigde, waar het gebeur?
Dit het in die kombuis plaasgevind.
It transpired inside the kitchen, my lady.
Was the accused moved from the kitchen area?
Was die beskuldigde geskuif van die kombuisarea?
Op daai stadium met die gesprek was hy nog in die kombuis en
At that stage, whilst we were still conversing with each other, he was still inside the kitchen.
nadat ek hom gewaarsku het ons hom geskuif na die motorhuis.
But after I warned him, my lady, that's when we shifted him to the garage.
Did anyone have access to the accused?
Het enige ene toegang tot by die beskuldigde gehad?
Op daardie stadium was soos ek gister getuig het, meneer Staner en mevrou Stander.
Okay. At that stage, as I testified yesterday, Your Worship, Mr. Stander as well as Ms. Stander
Het toegang tot die beskuldigde gehad.
were the persons who had access to the accused.
Die beskuldigde se broer, meneer Oscar Pistorius,
The accused brother, Mr. Oscar Pistorius,
het ook op die toneel aangekom.
also arrived at the scene,
Dis al wat toegang tot hom gehad het op daai
and
stadium.
they were the only persons who had access to him at that stage.
Anybody else have access to the accused?
Is daar enige iemand anders wat
Later?
toegang tot na hom toe gehad het, behalve die persone wat die arreest genoem het?
Nadat ek die beskuldigde se regtersreëls gewaarsku het julle,
After I explained the accused rights to him according to the judge's rules, my lady,
het ek is nie seker of die beskuldigde en of sy broer die prokureur geskakel.
I'm not sure as to whether the accused or his brother phoned a lawyer.
Maar net daarna het die regsverteenwoordiger meneer Olwagen
But just after that call was made, that's when the attorney arrived at the scene.
So did you meet Mr. Aldrich on the scene?
Het hij van meneer Albertine op die toneel ontmoet?
Dis reg.
That is correct, Your Worship. My lady, I did.
Now, the official photographer in this matter, who was that?
Wie was die ambtelijke fotograaf van die zaak, meneer?
Dit was adjutant-offisier van Stade, heer.
It was a warrant officer. Sergeant of, wie is het?
Van Stade.
Van Staren.
Were you there when he arrived on the scene?
Askies?
Were you on the scene when
Was
Van
meneer
Staden
op die
arrived
toneel toe hulle daar aangekomen?
Ja, ek was toe die advocaat afgegeven was op toneel.
I was present at the scene when the photographer arrived, my lady.
What happened when he arrived?
En wat het gebeurde na hulle gearriveer het?
Edele, ons het die fotograaf eers dadelik die oorledene uitgewys.
My lady, we first pointed out the deceased to the photographer,
Wat hy gefotografeer het.
then took photos of the deceased.
Adjutant-offisier Hilton Botha en
Warrant officer Hilton Botha
die fotograaf
and the photographer
het die oorledene se liggaam omgedraai,
turned the deceased body over.
waar ook op foto's geneem was.
Were photos of her were also taken, my lady. And toe?
Julle het ons die fotograaf opgevat bo na die badkamer toe.
My lady, we then took the photographer to the upper level, to the bathroom.
If you say we took him up,
As
we
he
refer
threw
to
at ons. Wie was dat?
Dit was ek en adjutant-offisier Botha.
It was myself and Mr. Botha, warrant officer Botha.
were you only three?
Net julle drie.
Dit was net ons drie
It
geweest.
was just the three of us, my lady.
And what did you do?
En wat julle toe gedoen? Toe julle daar by die
Julle ons
moeste
het
verdieping
die
aankom?
eerste instansie wys ons eers globaal die punte van die toneel.
We first pointed out the global points of the scene to him,
As ook sekere punte wat ons verlang dat hy op moet konsentreer op die toneel.
as well as several points we wanted him to concentrate on at the scene.
En ek het hom die opdrag gegee dat hy dan die toneel moet fotografeer.
I then gave him the order to photograph the scene.
And he did so.
En hy het dit
Toe
gedoen.
het hy dit.
Now,
He then did it, my lady.
now let us just deal with it. Between the time that you came down on your first inspection
Dan die tyd toe u onder toe gekom het op die eerste inspeksie,
and the time that you went upstairs again with one officer van Staden, did anybody else have access to the first floor?
tot op die stadium waar u boontoe gegaan het met meneer Van Staren, het enige ene toegang gehad tot op die toneel.
Nee, edele.
No, my lady.
And whilst one officer van Staden were busy taking photographs upstairs, did anybody else have access to the
Terwyl meneer Van Staren foto's daarbo geneem het enige ene toegang tot by die toneel gehad.
Nee, edele. Hy was alleen besig om foto's te doen.
No, my lady, he was busy taking photos alone.
But
En
at
op 'n
some
stadium, ekskuus
Yes.
tog julle, en op 'n stadium het ons wel opgegaan ek en Botha om sekere goed weer op te neem
And at some stage, both and I did proceed to the upper level on what to do,
om seker te maak dat ons ook al die evidence wat gegather word
just to make sure that we also have all the evidence that was needed to be gathered, my lady.
And did any family member go upstairs?
Is daar enige familielede wat naar boven toe gegaan het?
Ten tye van die fotograaf besig was, was daar geen forensiese deskundige of lid van die familie.
Okay. During the time when the photographer was busy taking photos, no forensic members or family members were present.
And at any time, did you allow somebody to go upstairs?
Is
Family?
daar enige stadium waar jullie iemand toestemming gegeven om naar boven toe te gaan?
Daar was later stadium toe die foto's wel klaar geneem was eerder,
There was at a later stage, after all the photos were taken, yeah,
waar die beskuldigde sy suster versoek het om klere te gaan haal.
when the accused sister requested us to go upstairs to go and fetch clothes, my lady.
Ek het adjudant-offisier van Staden geroep
I then summoned warrant officer van Staden
om die beskuldigde sy suster te vergesel
in order to accompany the accused sister,
en om seker te maak dit wat gevat word en waar dit gevat word,
just to make sure as to what was taken and to ascertain as to from where was that taken,
maak seker dit is gedokumenteer of gefotografeer.
and to make sure that whichever she was taking was being documented or photographed.
Now, Colonel, if I could just refer you to photograph 67.
Meneer, als ik verwijs naar foto nummer 167, dank u daarvoor. Hier is het.
I would now like us to deal with the watches.
Kom ons praten over die polshorloges.
These container with a 67.
67, we've got 167,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, no.
167. 67. 67. Hier is het.
The container with those watches, you saw it on the morning when you entered the scene first.
Meneer, die weet die houders van die polshorloges die ochtend toe je daar aangekomen het gezien, nee.
Dit is reg eerder, die foto, eintlik as hier op die linkerkantshoek is daar nog 'n, dis net so uitsnyding, linker onderkantshoek was daar nog 'n horloge.
That is correct, my lady. If one sees where this picture ends on the left-hand side of this picture, which wasn't taken in full, there were also other horloges,
Ja.
other
were
watches as
In
well.
totaal was daar 8 horloges.
In total, 8 watches.
Now, do you know what happened to the watches?
Weet u wat er van die horloges geworden?
Die hele rede van ervaring en elke ding. Die eerste stadium toe ons opstap en die toneel deurgegaan het ek hierdie horloges waargeneem.
Wat gedoen?
Opgestap het in die vertrek by die main bedroom.
My lady, upon arrival, when we arrived there, when I was proceeding to the main bedroom, yeah,
Ek het hierdie horloges gesien.
I saw these watches. En toe?
En vir myself gesê dit is tempting for any person because this is expensive watches.
I then told myself that those watches were tempting to ask any other person, seeing that they were expensive watches. And do?
Met die opgaan en die uitwys van die toneel aan die fotograaf,
When we were proceeding to the upper level, pointing out the things to the photographer,
het ek hierdie mening van my aan hom gelig en vir hom gesê ek soek asseblief foto's van hierdie horloges
I then asked him, telling him that I need pictures of these watches,
en dat hy moet seker maak dat hulle terwyl hy op toneel is na die horloges gekyk word en dophou.
and I told him to make sure that he keeps an eye on over these watches.
Soos jy sou sien julle aan die lid van hierdie houer, horlogehouer,
As you can see, my lady, on the container of these watches, on the lid of the container,
is daar bloedsmeersels.
there are blood smears on the lid of the container.
Ons kon nie die horlosies die boks verwyder. Daar was ook spatsels op van die horlosies, bloedspatsels op van die horlosies.
As a result of these blood smears, we couldn't remove that box from there because there were even droplets of blood or splatters of blood on the watches.
So in alle tye tot ons die toneel klaar gedoen het, kon ons die horlosies verwyder.
So at all times, as soon as we were done with whatever we were doing there, then we would have removed those watches from where it was.
And at a stage you saw this container of watches again.
Is daar stadium wat u die horlosies weer gesien het?
Deur die loop van die oggend het ons op en af beweeg. Op 'n
We were moving up and down during that morning session, my lady. Ja, op 'n stadium.
Op 'n stadium nadat die beskuldigde gearresteer is en weggevoer is van die
At
toneel.
some stage, after the accused was arrested and taken away from the scene,
Ek het agtergekom dat dit die forensiese span nie meer baie rond beweeg op die onderste vloer.
when I realized that the forensic team were not were not that very busy like they were initially, my lady,
On the ground floor.
on the ground floor, and two,
Het ek opgestap na die eerste vloer toe,
I proceeded to the first floor,
na die hoofslaapkamer.
to the main bedroom.
Met die inkoms van die hoofslaapkamer het ek die forensiese span in die hoofslaapkamer gevind.
Upon entering the main bedroom, I found the forensic team inside the main bedroom.
Hulle was besig om opname te maak in beplanning in terme van
They were busy with investigations and planning inside the main bedroom,
om te bepaal wat nog gedoen moet word en
just to ascertain as to what was supposed to be done again,
wie is verantwoordelik vir watter aspek van die
and
ondersoek.
as to who was responsible for what or which aspect.
Dit was gedoen oorspronklik op my instruksie, julle,
That was originally done on my instructions, my lady.
want gedurende die oggend het ek die opdrag gegee dat ek die span bymekaar wil hê
Okay. Because in the morning I gave instructions that I needed the team together
en dat ons moet besin hoe die ondersoek verder hanteer moet.
and that we should discuss as to how the investigations should be carried out.
Hulle het egter besluit, omrede ek besig was met ander aspekte soos die media,
And they decided that seeing that I was busy with other aspects, including the media,
en ander verpligtinge,
as well as other duties,
om self bymekaar te kom en dit te bespreek.
just to come together on their own and discuss whatever was supposed to be done.
Toe ek die vertrek binnekom, het adjutant-offisier van Stade 'n opmerking gemaak.
When I entered the room, that's when warrant officer van Staren made a remark,
Waar hy verskoning gemaak het en gesê het reeds begin sonder dat ek teenwoordig was.
he made an apology or apologized by informing me that they had already started in my absence.
Ek is kortliks ingelig wat die bespreking behels het en wat is die plan.
I was shortly informed as to what the discussion was all about and what the plannings were.
En ek was tevrede wat hulle besluit het.
I was satisfied about the decision they took.
Hier op daai stadium met my rug na hierdie betrokke horlosie houer gestaan.
At that stage, I was standing with my back turned to towards the watches.
Ek was in die amper sê in die deur van die ek was basies in die deur van die hoofslaapkamer.
I was basically standing in the doorway of the main bedroom.
Ekskuus tog, ek weet nie of daar 'n nader, ek net vinnig kyk of daar.
I'm sorry, my lady, I just want to check as to whether there isn't a photo in the album which can indicate. Wat behels dit?
As jy sou kyk op foto 60,
If you look at photo number 60 on the album,
as jy kyk ongeveer in die middel van die foto,
if you look in the middle of the photo,
jy sal sien die boks is die horlosieboks is op 'n luidspreker.
one can see that the watch box or the box containing the watches is on top of the loudspeaker.
Nou, ek het in die voorkant berig na die bed se kant toe. Ek het
I was standing in front of that loudspeaker towards the bed with my back turned towards that container, my lady.
Eerder ek het omgedraai om nadat ons die gesprekke gedoen het om ons die vertrek te verlaat.
My lady, I turned around to leave the bedroom after our discussion
Ons op daai stadium het ons besluit ons gaan die toneel sluit.
because at that stage we had decided that we were going to lock up the premises
Want die bloedanalis luitenant-kolonel van der Nest was nie beskikbaar vir die dag
because by then the blood analyst, Colonel van der Wie,
van der Nest.
van der Nest was not available on that day.
Met die omdraai het ek na die boks gekyk, na die horlosieboks gekyk.
When I turned around, my lady, I looked at the box containing the watches.
Aan die left bottom corner.
She says on the left bottom corner, gaan meneer nou oorsluit na Engels toe?
Ja.
Of bly nou u nog steeds in
Ek
Afrikaans?
sal ouske Engels.
My lady, I'll now switch to English because I was asking him, I just wanted him to be clear as to whether he decides to testify in Afrikaans or in English in order to make the proceedings much easier to be followed. Now the witness informs me that he wishes to switch in English. As a result, can I be excused provisionally, my lady?
Yes, you may take a seat.
As a conclusion.
Thank you.
My lady, the left bottom corner, the watch on the left bottom corner was missing. If one would have looked, this is the one that is now being indicated on the screen. And I turn around and I ask Warrant Officer van Staden, did he know anything about this watch? He told me that when the accused sister came up, she requested that she want to take one of the watches. And she took that particular watch. All the other 7 watches were still in place. The watch on the right, if you're looking on the right top corner, the one with the green, I was looking particularly to all those watches, and I then mentioned again to all the whole forensic team that those watches is a big concern of mine because it's expensive. They must look after this thing. And then one of the forensic experts at the back, I don't know who mentioned it, mentioned that this particular watch, this green and black one on the top right hand corner, was the value between 50 and 100,000 rand. And then I say, you see what I mean? We have to look after the property in this house. This is expensive property. So we left the room. I've exited the room first, and then the rest was followed. Some stay behind to clean up and to fetch all the things to go down. So I went down to the garage. While we were all packing up and getting our things ready to leave, Warrant Officer van Staden came into the garage, and he mentioned that one of these watches is missing. And I said, what do you mean? What other watch? There's one missing because you handed it over. He said, no, there's another one that is missing. I said, but I can't believe it. We were just there. How can this watch be gone? Immediately, I give instruction that everybody had to come to the garage. We body search everyone. We search all the bags each and every forensic expert had on his possession. We searched the whole house through again back to the main bedroom. We even searched the vehicles of all the forensic experts on the scene without giving anyone permission to leave. We couldn't find the watch.
Did you open a docket as far as this watch is concerned?
My lady, I personally opened a case docket of theft, of missing of this particular watch. I also was the A1 in the case docket. It was handed over to the Provincial Commissioner's Office to appoint a different investigation officer, which is currently now still being under investigation.
Now, did you inform the accused about this watch?
My lady, when I visited the accused, I first told him that he must remember he's a celebrity. there's a lot of memorial and stuff that people wants to take and wants to possess because he's a celebrity. And I said to him, please, it's difficult for a scene like this. We don't know what is in cupboards. We don't know what is in drawers. If he found anything that is missing, that he must report it to me. And I give him the promise that if I found anything, that I will take action against it. When I reported this to the forensic team, everybody knows about it. I reported to my commander structure and also to the accused. The case docket, later on, Captain van Aert gave permission that the watches can be handed back, the rest of the watches, because after the blood analysis was done by Colonel van der Nest, who was there the following day, he seized the box. None of the forensic experts on the scene seized the box. He seized the box and he handed in for fingerprints and forensics analysis. So none of the forensic experts, not even me, handled the box concerning the theft of the theft case. Then Captain van Aert gave permission that I can hand it over the six watches that was left. Again, I didn't contact them. The accused's brother, Mr. Oscar Pistorius, phoned me. I didn't know if Captain van Aert arranged it with them, but he phoned me and he requested that he can come and take the watches over from me. Then I said, no, I will not hand it over to you. I will hand it over to the owner of the watches, that will be the accused. So arrangements was made that I meet the accused, and I handed the six watches over to the accused without the box. The box was still for analysis on the case. During that handing over session, I again informed the accused, please, if there's anything else that they're missing, they must report it.
Was anything else reported to you as having gone missing?
My lady, up to now, no, nothing else was reported stolen to me.
To you. Perhaps we skipped one step. When this happened, the meeting upstairs, the realization that there was a watch missing, where was the accused there?
The accused was already been transferred to first to the police station and then from there to the doctor for medical examination.
Now, you indicated earlier that you explained his rights to him, asked him to remain on the scene and not leave the scene. Was he arrested at any stage?
Edele, nadat met die verloop van die ondersoek
wait.
Sorry, let me just go back to English. After while we was busy with gathering the evidence, as the information comes through and the evidence that's been gathered, it became clear to me that we have a case, a prima facie case against the accused. So I went to him in the presence of his lawyer, Mr. Odwagen, that was present, and I arrested him, and I again warned him of his rights. And to be honest with you, Mr. Odwagen mentioned to me, sorry, Colonel, you doesn't mention the part of the judge's rules that his attorney can be present. And then I said, thank you for reminding me, but previously I did that. So then he was arrested and he was taken by two detective members of mine to the police station.
Okay. Now, on day one at the scene, was there any itinerary made of everything that was on the scene?
There was no, my lady, there was no itinerary made. In a crime scene, normally the person, as a forensic expert, he gathered the evidence and he packed it and he sealed it, and that evidence packing and sealed and confiscation is being indicated in his statements and also in his testimony. So in normal circumstances, we do not we do not make itinerary. Actually, the instructions say we don't have actually to do that.
Yes,
Not saying
what
we
do you
don't
mean by-
have to, but it's not entitled to do. We
What do you
just
mean
don't-
by itinerary?
Itinerary? Talking about everything in the house.
Or
That is-
inventory? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it was called itinerary by inventory.
It's an inventory.
I've got it wrong. I apologize.
Invent.
I don't know where I got to that. I really do. I feel embarrassed and I apologize.
No.
Inventory, that's the
It
word I'm
happens
looking
to all
for.
of us. It's okay.
The only thing that from my side, when we talk about the inventory, I'm referring to the exhibits that has been seized on the scene, and that has been documented in the specific experts and the policeman's pocketbook as well as his statements.
Now, on day one, was there any formal access control to the scene?
From the point that I arrived, the access control was implemented by me. First was me and Constable Prinsloo. And then when we move the accused out to the garage, barrier was erected that you can enter the house, but you can't go further than a certain portion of the entrance. There was a barrier erected there, and because there was no other place that we can take the accused, otherwise we have to take him outside, and that is why we used that passage to the garage to make sure that he's been there, because he was bare-chested. He didn't wear anything as well. But at the entrance of the garage door, one of my detectives members was standing, and then I also had access control at the main door. Later on, we further moved another barrier towards the line of the garages and to the outside building on the left-hand side of the premises to ensure. As we continue in the morning, we also make sure that access control to the scene has been limited at the gates of the estate. We have the privilege and the cooperation of the estate manager to ensure that not any people can come into the estate itself, because they have to be cleared before they come to the scene. And that helps a lot of keeping the media out and as well as unnecessary people.
And the process, did it change on day two? After you've now realized there's a watch missing, what did you do?
Yes, my lady, you can imagine if you found something is missing while you're doing and you have to rely on people and they was working with you. I was furious, so the next morning I implemented access control. Each person entering the scene was documented. Each person exit the scene was documented, and the exhibits, things that they took out was documented. They was even each bag that they exit with was searched to make sure that nothing has been taken out. Each exhibit that they took, we made sure that the exhibit has been sealed and it has been documented.
And you have that document with you?
I have that document with me.
Is it this one? You kept that in your file, the original?
I've got the original in my file.
You kept the original in your file?
Yeah, I've got the original in my file.
Is that a copy of it?
I just want to quickly go through. I can just compare it?
Yeah, please do. Please do. You still have your original with you?
Yeah, I've got the original.
Yeah,
with me.
please do.
Because I'm not sure of all the pages, how many pages. My lady, this is a true copy except for the back part of movement register at the back.
The
That has
movement
been,
register,
maybe
that's not
they'll
yours.
type it later on, but that was not
Okay.
part of the initial
Let's
copy.
remove that. It's fine. Can remove that. The movement register. I then beg leave to hand this up as Exhibit DD. Let us, there's just one further incident we have to deal with, and that was on the scene morning of 14 February. You have indicated that you saw the firearm lying in front of the, lying in the bathroom, is that correct?
That's correct, Maria.
And more particularly, as one could see it at photo 104. Is that correct?
That is correct, my lady.
You never handled that firearm.
I specifically didn't handle the firearm at all, my lady.
But you witnessed somebody handling.
That is correct, my lady.
What happened?
My lady, after the photographer was finished in the bathroom, we allow access to the ballistic expert for the reason of the ballistics, the firearm, and the seizure of the firearm. So I was present when the firearm expert at that stage from the ballistic unit, Lieutenant Colonel Martu, was in the bathroom. I was busy talking on my cell phone, arranging and communicating with some of my superiors and also as well as Warrant Officer Botha, when I heard that the firearm has been cocked. So I turned my head to where the firearm has been cocked to see what is going on, and at that particular moment the ballistic expert was having the firearm in his hand without gloves. He already took out the magazine was in his hand and the firearm was in his hand. So I stopped immediately talking and I asked him, "What are you doing?" And then he turned his head to me and he was looking, and then he realized there was no hand gloves on. And then he said, "Sorry." And he put the magazine back in the firearm and he put it back on the carpet, on the this bathroom carpet. And then he took out his hand gloves from his pocket that was hanging out here in the breast pocket, and he put it on his hands, and then again he took the firearm and he made it safe and he continued with his. So immediately I was very angry, so immediately I turned around and I also informed Warrant Officer Van Staden of what had happened, and I'm not very pleased with what I saw.
Now, when that happened, in that bathroom, who else was there?
It was only me and Lieutenant Colonel Martu.
Now, what happened when you left the scene on day one, on the 14th?
Your Honor, my lady, when we finished that particular day, and each day after that as well, we secure the scene. We make sure that all the windows, doors were locked, and then we lock the front door and we seal the front door with a seal, a forensic seal. Then we take the first day the keys to the house. Even the gardener, I don't know what his really occupation was there, we help him to get the food from the dog out so that we make sure there's food for the dog and everything is being catered, because he was living at the back. There's a servant quarters on the right hand side when you enter the premises. So he only had access to the outside as well as to his quarters. Everything else we lock down and we seal it. We take the keys of the house and we book it into the SAP13 at Bosco Police Station. And the first day the keys was booked in and it was left that night. So the 14th to the 15th, the keys was left in the CSC. Right. Afterwards, when I arrived at home, I was wondering about why did they left the key, because I didn't trust anyone at that stage. So the next day, the same thing. When we arrived at the scene, in the presence of the photographer and the person that was doing the guard duty, we posted 2 members, uniform members, as guard at the premises for a whole night and during the day. So during the day, there was 2 guards at all time. The next morning, when we arrived there, with the guards that is present, we cut the seal, we opened the doors, and then we entered the premises. Then the seals that was been cut, we handed into the SABC to make sure that is proof. The night, the same thing. The night of the 15th, after we finished up, the keys is again handed into the SAP13. But after it's been handed into the 13, I took possession of the keys and I signed in the SAP13 register and I put it in my official safe in my office, which only me have got the key. The next morning I came back, I took the keys out of the office safe and I went to the scene, and then the seals again was checked and it was then cut. At no stage the seal was broken or tampered with. Only, I'm not sure, at the stage, I don't know if it's a Saturday or I think it's a Saturday, we had a problem regarding the seals because we started running out of the seals. But again, we paste seal, man-made seals that we paste and we can see it's been tampered with on, and to make sure that it's been covered with. And again, the members on duty as guard, they has the instruction to check. And at no stage we found that the seal was broken or been tampered with, or any report was made from any of the guards that there was tampered with the crime scene as such.
So, Colonel, you were on the scene on the 14th of February.
That is correct, my lady.
That was the Thursday.
That was the Thursday.
Were you on the scene on the 15th of February?
I was on the scene on the 15th of February as well, my lady.
The Friday. And on the 16th, Saturday?
On 16th, the Saturday, the same thing, my lady.
And on the Sunday, the 17th?
The Sunday, the 17th as well.
And you finalized the investigation on the scene on Sunday, the 17th?
That is correct, my lady.
And what did you do with the key?
There was arrangement made that we had to hand the key over to Mr. Stander, Jan Stander, the friend of the accused.
Did you do that?
So we locked the house. We didn't see it again because we were leaving the scene, and I personally take the keys to Mr. Stander and I hand it over with a knowledge receipt that they received it.
Good. Then, if we can focus on the door. You've already identified the door and the panels on the scene. What happened to the door?
My lady, the door, we decided on the 15th, Friday, after we received information that some of the newspapers is willing to pay between 30 and 60,000 for a photo of the door. Also, that was not the main reason, but we realized we had to do something very quick because it could happen that someone's going to take a photo. Already we had the experience of a missing watch. So we decided immediately to take down the door. Now, the door is the most valuable evidence.
Okay, if you just take it a bit slower. You decided to take down the door.
Yeah, we decided to take down. The door is the most valuable evidence exhibit on the scene because it indicated the shooting holes. The disease was behind this door when she was shot. So that was the main reason exhibit it had to be seized. But when we received the information on Friday, we decided we'll do it immediately. Now we had a challenge. We couldn't find anything that really fit, the door can fit in because it's a very big door as you see. So we made arrangements that we take body bags. Now I personally drive to Bronkhorstspruit and got body bags, different sizes of the body bag, and then only the biggest body bag the door could fit in. So Lieutenant Colonel van der Merwe from forensics, as well as Warrant Officer Van Staden, they took down the door. Now, before we took down the door, I asked the question, if you took down the door, can we really fit it back in the same position? And they said, that is very easy. You just take a screwdriver and you just take it off, and then you can refit it again. There will not be a problem refitting and assembling it again. So they took down the door, my lady, and they also sealed it in the evidence bag with seals. When they come outside, we had a problem about the vehicle that can really fit this door into. So we had to contact a long wheelbase police vehicle to fit it in at the back. But as we're carrying this door, my lady, the loose panels of the door was shifting. And we was afraid that it's going to cut the body bag, because it's a plastic body bag. Then I said to them, we have to be very careful, because as soon as this panels is cutting this, then we got a problem about securing this part of evidence. So we put it in the vehicle, and the vehicle was, the constable took it to Bosco Police Station, where it was handed in SABC as exhibit. Now, on a Friday, in the station, the big exhibits is kept in the charge office. There is a temporary facility, but in this case, there was not a big place. You couldn't find it. You would stand in the charge office in the passage. And that is where I found it when I arrived at the police station.
Still sealed?
So
was it still sealed when you arrived at the police?
It was still sealed when I arrived there. So I take the responsibility. Standing orders is clear. It is the responsibility of the station commander to safeguard the property as well as exhibits. So I signed for the exhibit, and I took it to my office where I kept it. Now, I know someone will ask the question, why do you take it to the office? The first thing about the office is it is secured. There is security gates, fences around the windows. I am the only person that had a key to the room. I also do additional insurance that I put the small policeman keys that you put into the lock. Make sure it's locked. The outside has been locked. And then it was placed in my office flat in front of my desk on the floor, with the reason not moving it as often as you would have wanted me, because it can be cut with that panels. It was kept there in my office the whole weekend. The arrangements we actually did is that on the Monday we would have Warrant Officer Van Staden and the forensic expert Lieutenant Colonel Van der Merwe would come and take it and hand it in at forensics. But as the things developed, on Monday we had the preparation of the bail application. Tuesday the bail application started. The whole week we was busy, and then they only could have made it until the 28th of February. Now, during this period, this door was kept in my office. I was the only person in control of that office. No meeting was held during that period in that office. If someone come and see me, I closed the door, I locked the door, and I went to another office and have a conversation with that person. Also, there was only 2 faxes on the station. One fax is in my office. Sometimes people come and they want to fax something. I took that faxes and I faxed it myself. So nobody else did tamper with that evidence. Coming to the other storerooms on the station, my 2 storerooms that I got on the station is packed to capacity. So if I move this door to that, the possibility exists that it could be capped, and then the packaging could be cut by the panels, and then it would affect the credibility of securing the exhibit.
Now, during the time between the 15th and when you handed it over to Warrant Officer Van Staden, did you open that body bag?
That is correct, my lady. On the 18th, the defense requested that their forensics team wants to see the door. So, in the presence of me and Warrant Officer Botha, Mr. Volmerans of the forensics of the defense, and the photographer, I can't remember now his name, we open the seal, we break the seal, as it was sealed when we receive it. We open and we let the door stand upright, and we open as far as possible that they can see it. There were splinters, small splinters that was falling out at one corner. So I picked that splinters up with hand gloves, and I put it back on the body bag, back in the body bag. And then they started taking photos. Then the request was that we had to take it out. Of course, they want to see the height of the bullets, what the holes is. And I said, no, I'm not going to take out this thing. The idea was of seizing this exhibit is to take it to a controlled environment like forensics, that they can erect it by an expert, and that everybody can see what the height and everything, what was happening with the door. So I'm not going to take it out at all. Actually, they was agitated with me. They said, then there's no use that I come here and see this thing. So I say, sorry, that is the only allowance that I'm going to make for him to seal the door. And then we seal the door, after we seal the bag again. And we seal it with another seal. Unfortunately, that's that we didn't have a seal. So we was running around getting a seal eventually that each and every one was pleased with. And we sealed it with that seal. And again, the defense, forensic aspect, photographer also take photos of that seal. And then it was taken back into my office and again lie in front of my desk.
You kept it there until you handed it over to Warrant Officer van Staat.
I kept it there until I handed it over to Warrant Officer. One thing that my lady one must remember, there was allegations. I'm not saying I say allegations, or we thought that the cricket bat was used as well. And any time that you damage this door, there was additional damages, and then it will be difficult for the forensic expert to really determine now which damage is coming from afterwards and which damage is coming while the crime was committed. So that was another reason why we limited the movement of this exhibit.
We've come to the end of the evidence. What are you doing? You're not in the police anymore?
No, Maria, I'm not in the police anymore.
So, what business are you in now?
My lady, I'm doing the thing that I love the most.
And that is?
I'm coaching.
You're coaching what? What are you coaching, Colonel?
I'm coaching sports, and sports is my life.
I have nothing further. Right.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Roux.
Thank you, Madam Colonel. I'll try and summarize some of my understanding of the evidence, and please assist and indicate when I'm wrong, and correct me if you will. And that is specifically relevant to access to the first floor or the top floor of the house of Mr. Pistorius. My understanding is that the first time you went up was in the presence of Warrant Officer Botha.
That is correct, my lady.
Lady, I'm so sorry. Before I should have started with the questions, to give the state ample notice. We will ask the court, through the court, to call Colonel Vermeulen back, and it would be no surprises. I will assist the state so that he knows exactly what it's all about. I will ask Mr. Wolmerans just to point out what we want him to look at. It's just outside. And what we will say that when we had the opportunity now in the court to investigate the door with two experts, that they found higher up a mark, according to the defense experts, a cricket bat mark hitting the door. So we'll point it out to the state, if I may, so that there's no surprise for Colonel Vermeulen, that he can work on it and that the state can see it. where the mark is. And we took photographs and so on that will be available, but it is just for purposes of the state. Thank you, my lady. And we will request then that, of course, after this,
At the auction.
that it be recalled for that purpose. The second aspect that we need from the state is to tell us if Mr. Hilton Botha will be called as a witness, because that will depend on how many questions we put to this witness. So he must please give us some indication, if you will. Just assist us there, because that will depend
Yes,
on the
you
cross-examination.
want to know if Mr. Botha is
If
going
Mr.
to be
Botha will
called.
be called by the state indeed.
Yes.
I don't know yet, my lady. I'll decide as the evidence goes.
Thank you, my lady. Colonel, then I want to put to you something before I deal with the sequence of events. As we listen to your evidence, the unavoidable inference is this: that you were willing to come to court to give evidence wider than you can in order to make the calling of Mr. Hilton Botha as a witness unnecessary, and we will point it out to you. So we say that you, in your evidence, went wider than you can really go, and you could have gone, and that is to make it unnecessary for the state to call Mr. Botha. And that's why we asked the state whether he would commit himself. Do you understand what I say to you?
Can you just rephrase it?
I say, Mr. Van Esbroek, Colonel Van Esbroek, you allowed yourself to come and give evidence that we will point out was designed to take the place of Mr. Botha in circumstances where you would not have been able to do it, where you could not say certain things. What do you say about that?
It's still very... Can you simplify it, please?
You're standing in for Mr. Botha's evidence on aspects that you cannot stand in for.
My lady, I'm not standing in for Warrant Officer Botha. I'm standing in for what the evidence that I saw on the scene.
And I'm going to make it easy because I don't want to trick you. First of all, I'm going to ask you this about your experience. How long experience do you have as a policeman?
As a policeman, 30 years, my lady.
And of course you know, as the commanding officer there, that when you make a statement, you tell the truth in a statement.
That is correct, my lady.
Because you know that statement would be given to the defense, that they can prepare their case, and that they know what the case is against the accused that they represent.
That is correct, my lady.
And that why it's important that you are deal with all the facts in the statement and in a truthful manner.
It is correct, my lady, regarding the facts that you have to state in your statement. But it's also true that it happens that you do not contain all the facts in the statement. As the development of the case happens, in this case, we started with the investigation. Then the investigation was handed over.
I understand it. Let me.
So, when the investigation was handed over, some of the information that we had was never communicated from my side. I can't talk about the other one. Was not communicated and documented into the in the statement. Later back, the new investigation have to come, and as he went with the investigation, he filling the missing gaps as he picked it up. But small things that was not mentioned in the first statement went missing between the statements.
No, of course. I mean, for example, if you make a statement on 15 February 2013 and things happen subsequently, you have two choices. The one is to put in a further statement, and the other one is not to change your statement.
Yeah.
Is that not correct?
That's correct.
But the fact remains, I mean, you're a senior, you were a senior officer, that material facts you would not omit. You will deal with them, and you will deal with them correctly in your statement.
If that is the case, yes. But as I said, it happens in this case that there was certain evidence that was not captured in certain statements.
Could you just repeat that, please? You lowered your voice.
I said no, it happens, and in this case, when it was handed over, there was small things that was omitted between statements.
Like what? What was that? The small things that you referred to.
Let me quickly think. Things like when my first statement was made. In my first statement, I didn't mention about the fact of the open door. The open door on the main bedroom. That was not mentioned.
What else?
We think there's a couple of things that I picked up. Well, in my first statement as well. Okay, my first statement compared. That was dealt with. That's the only thing that I quickly can remember now.
Well, if I may assist you, you also made a second statement.
That's correct.
To
Yes.
supplement the first statement.
That is correct.
But again, the same principles would apply. You would deal with material facts, and if you remember something that you have not dealt with in the first statement, of course you will deal with that in the second statement.
The second statement, when the second statement was taken, my lady, there were certain questions asked from the investigation officer regarding certain points that the union highlighted. So in that regard, I answer his questions, and that is highlighted in that statement.
Yes. And that's also the perfect opportunity, if you want to correct something, to correct it in. And I'm not talking about the open door. You can accept it.
If there was opportunity, then I agree. Yes, there was maybe an opportunity to do that.
And similarly, Warrant Officer Botha, Hilton Botha, he was, as you said, a knowledgeable and experienced policeman.
That is correct, my lady.
And he also, in your experience, he would share the same views as you on the responsibility to submit a truthful and complete or comprehensive statement.
Taking the circumstances that happens afterwards, my lady, but as a police officer, as I know him, at the time of the crime scene, and afterwards, until I know him, he will do that if he's aware of the fact. He would have done that if he's aware of the fact.
Yes, and what's of course particularly helpful, if you make your first statement and you made that to Hilton Botha, then you have that assistance that if there's something wrong that he can say to you, but Colonel, you say A now, but actually I was there, it's B. You had that assistance because you made that to him. He took your statement.
The benefit of investigation officers on the crime scene. My lady, one must remember, it's not one person part of. It's not one person forming the team. There was a team, and that also means the forensic experts. We had a team on the crime scene. When we discuss about what we're going to gather, we discuss it and we just said, right, this is needed. We had to take this. So each and everybody was involved in their discussions. Sometimes some people was left out. So up to a stage, Warrant Officer Botha went to Bronkhorstspruit for the autopsy on the 14th. So he was, for apparent reason, he was not available. He came back later, so some of the things he missed, we informed him when he come back. But it could happen that one or two things could have happened. But when you continue with the investigation, all the things will follow in place, and we will fit it up, and we will make sure everything is being highlighted.
I'm making a different point, Colonel. I say, if you sit on the 15th of February, and you make a statement, and that statement is made to the investigating officer Hilton Botha, and you talk about events the previous day, the benefits, of course, that if you're wrong, that he can help you and say, well, it was not 10 o'clock, it was actually 12 o'clock because I was with you. That's what I'm saying. You had that added benefit.
One added benefit.
Yes, you were not making your statement to a stranger. You would, in fact, the statement was taken, your statement was taken by Hilton Botha, who was with you the previous day, or on the 14th. That's the benefit that you have.
That's correct. I would agree with you.
So, I interrupted the first line of questioning, and that was this. On that day, my understanding is that the first persons, other than, of course, the accused, and possibly, before your time, paramedics, Mr. Stander, Miss Stander, and Dr. Stipp. We know they were there before the time. Apart from them, the first persons that went to the first floor, went upstairs, would be you and Hilton Botha. It would have been the two of you.
That was after I arrived on the scene.
Yes. And that's why I excluded them, because you would not know what happened with the paramedics, you would not know what happened, what the procedure was with Mr. Stander, Miss Stander, and Dr. Stipp.
That is correct.
That was before your time.
Yes.
So we can take it from that timeline. And you arrived, my understanding, about 3:45 the morning of the 14th of February 2013, roundabout, at the scene.
That's correct.
You called Hilton Botha, and then the two of you went up to follow the blood spatter, the blood drops upstairs.
That is correct.
Where was the accused when you and Hilton Botha went upstairs? Where did you leave him?
He was still in the kitchen.
And you had two questions by the state, one yesterday and one today, that you can state as a fact that no other policeman but for the two of you, and then subsequently, shortly thereafter, also the photographer went upstairs. Now, I'm not talking after the photos. I'm talking from the time that you went to the time of the photographer. Those were the persons who went upstairs. You, Hilton Botha, and the photographer.
That's correct.
And I understand afterwards, some of you explained that, some of the forensic members went up to do their investigation. I'm talking about the early morning time. You understand? Are you satisfied that your answer is correct in that respect?
I'm 100% sure.
100% sure. I want you, because I see it's not far and I will carry on, but I want to make it available to you so that in all fairness that you have sufficient time to read your two statements during the tea adjournment. I will hand it to you, to the court. It seems, and you must assist me, it did not come through on the copies, and I will take steps to, this is the one for you. I will just first show you the back of my document. Maybe the state can assist when that first statement was made, before I officially hand in. There is the original that I hand to you. If you can just tell us when that statement was made.
My lady, if he's talking about A14,
you will see there's a date stamp at the back.
Yes, there's a date stamp at the back. No, there's not a date stamp at the back, it's certificate. Are you, sorry, but I just want
That's
to...
right.
That's the one you're referring to.
That's when you took the oath that the statement was the truth and the whole truth and nothing else but the truth.
The date stamp on this one is the 16th.
16th.
I think, it shows, looks like the 6th.
Yes, that may be. My lady,
16, 17
I
under that.
apologize. I will take steps. Unfortunately, when they copied the statement, the stamp was at the back, but we will take steps to also make a copy of that page.
Yes, but you show it's A14.
That would be, is it marked in the front?
A14.
Yes.
A40.
A14.
A14.
Thank you.
And just
Page-
look through it before I
back of
hand it
page
in.
4.
Just confirm you're a senior officer work that that's in fact your first statement.
That was my first statement.
You have seen it since and you've read through
Yeah.
it and you're satisfied that's your statement.
Yeah, that's my statement.
Yes. My lady, would the court accept this? I think it's Exhibit GG.
Yes, this will be GG.
And then your second statement.
No,
should-
just hold on. We don't have F. FF.
I thought it was the inventory.
Yeah, the inventory was.
The inventory I thought was FF. If you would just bear with me, my lady, to get the correct number. I was told that the inventory was FF. Maybe I was wrong. Is what I have, my lady, according to our list, if I might say, there was the cut out picture of the part of the prosthetic foot. That was EE. And then we know there was the inventory.
You're quite correct.
That inventory must be FF. I think that maybe there was an omission to give it a formal
Yes.
number.
I said the inventory is EE. It should be FF.
FF indeed,
Yes.
my lady.
So this will be GG.
And then my apologies, I understand now the back of that statement is also the witness's second statement. We will split that up for you. Do you also have your second statement there?
That is correct, my lady. A14. I don't know what the other number is there.
A14A.
A14A. Yeah.
Yes.
And when was that made?
But this was taken by
Captain van Aert.
Captain van Aert, and there's no stamp here. But the bottom here, Pretoria, the
Can I hand
8th
you
of 8th of May, 20.
8th of May? That's indeed correct. My lady, that would then be accepted as GG.
No. Oh, GG.
HH, my lady, the second statement's HH.
8th of May.
You also confirmed the correctness of that.
That is correct.
Oh, this is the.
So just to avoid any possible further confusion, your first statement was made on 16 February 2014, and it was deposed to by you, and the commissioner in that case was Hilton Botha.
According to the stamps, and according to them, there's in the 60.
Yes.
That's correct.
And the second statement was made 8th May, and there the commissioner was Captain van Aert.
And that is according to the entry on the bottom. Yes.
Now, what I want you to do, I will carry on till the tea adjournment, not to waste time, but I want you, during the adjournment, again to read. I know you've read them a number of times, but please read through your two statements again during the adjournment. Will you do so?
I will do so.
In the meantime, I will deal with other aspects, and it's this. That morning, you were at a armed robbery at Mooikloof Rif Estate.
That was correct.
And that is quite an affluent estate with access, security access control and security guards.
That is correct.
And in your experience, that won't stop crime.
No, my lady, doesn't that stop? No. Security gate, even security fencing, if the criminal really wants to commit, that doesn't stop.
And that morning was again an unfortunate example of that. It was an armed robbery there in that affluent estate.
That is correct.
Then you said that you then rushed to the house of Mr. Pistorius. You arrived there approximately quarter to 4. And if you could just explain to the court the emotional state of Mr. Pistorius when you were there, when you arrived there.
Well, as I previously testified, that he was emotional. He was very emotional. I can't say unstable, but I'll say emotional. He was unstable. He was crying, and he was really, you can see he was upset. Not upset in a furious way, but upset emotionally.
Was it your impression when you asked him what had happened that he was so emotional that he could not answer?
That was my own deduction that I made.
Yes. It was not that he was ignoring you, it was just he was overcome by emotion. He could not answer. That was your observation.
At to the first and second time that I asked him what happens, he was at that emotional state.
Yeah, the emphasis is, of course, that he was so overcome by emotions that he could not answer.
No, he didn't say that he was overcome by emotion. He didn't talk to me at all. I just observed that I saw he was emotionally.
Would you have described him as, in your observation, that he could not answer because of emotions?
As I said, yes, my deduction was, as a result of his emotional state, he was not able to answer me.
Yeah. And when you asked him again, was your observation, and I quote, he still was not able to talk?
That is correct.
Then you secure the necessary official services, and you also contacted Hilton Botha, and in that time period you also had a conversation with, I think it was Chris Stander.
That's
in
correct.
That time period.
Yeah, in that time period.
You also, in that time period, asked Mr. Pistorius, who was in the kitchen, to move back to the rear side of the kitchen and to remain there.
That is correct, my lady.
Which he obeyed.
Yes.
And it was at that time, when he was there, that Mr. Hilton Botha arrived, and you followed the blood spatter marks upstairs.
Yes, we first did the body. We started from the body, and then we went up.
What was the time then, more or less?
My lady, I will not be able to tell, because as the things develop, I didn't continue watching my watch as it happens.
But it was still very early in the morning.
It was early. It was still.
So you went upstairs, and where did you go to first? Once you're upstairs on the first floor.
As I indicated previously, my lady, we take the stairs and follow the blood trail.
Now, understand, you're up now.
Upstairs.
You're on
the
the
left-hand door. The door on the left-hand side. The door on the left-hand side, feeding the lock, make sure the door has been locked and it's not it's been damaged or tampered with or what.
I'm sorry, once you enter the door of the main bedroom, where did you go to?
Okay, you're talking about the main bedroom.
Yes.
Right. The main bedroom, the main focus, as we stopped there, because we didn't know what we're going to find next, so we first stopped in the main bedroom. Now, when I entered there, I observed what is happening in the main bedroom, what we saw in the main bedroom. And then from there, I turned left and I went to the bathroom.
So you say you observed what was in the main bedroom. What did you observe?
When I entered, first thing that I entered in the main in the main bedroom was this pellet gun that was standing there, the cabinet with all the sunglasses, then the watches that were standing there, then the hi-fi, and then the bed. How it was with the duvet lying on the side, and the trousers that was laying, brook that was laying there next to the
Speak
to
up a
the
little
duvet.
bit, please, Mr.
To the duvet. The following thing that I noticed was the plockies of
The sandals.
the sandals. The sandals was on the left side of the bed. As
Or
well
the slippers,
as
I think. It was rather slippers.
Yeah.
Or sandals, which
the
one?
sandals. It's not
Sandals.
slippers. It's you just put your feet into them and you walk. And then also the bag that was standing on the couch on the left hand side. On the right hand side, the light was on. When I entered in, the light was on, so the visibility was good in the bedroom. Then I picked up the fan.
What did you see about the fan?
The fan. I'm talking about the metallic one, the stainless steel one.
Stainless
You can
steel.
say it like that. But was standing in front of the door, and then that the curtains was open. I didn't go to the right hand side at that stage because the blood trial moved to the left.
So what you mean, you did not walk into the room?
I moved into the room, but it didn't move to the right. I moved to the left, following the blood track.
I understand that, meaning you did not go closer to the bed.
No,
You moved to the
at
left
that
to the
stage,
bathroom.
I didn't fall closer to the bed.
You did not go closer to the bed.
That's correct.
So what distance would you say you were about from the bed at that time when you made the observation, more or less?
No, I'm not the distance. Let's say maybe 2-3 meters. I can be wrong. I can be.
So that was your observation as you've explained to us now.
Yeah.
You saw the pellet gun, and I think with it there was a baseball bat. Did
At
you
that
see that?
stage, first when I entered, I didn't notice that baseball bat. The baseball bat. One thing one must remember, my lady, is if you're the first person on the crime, you saw certain things. But in this case, when you become the first person and also assisting the team investigation, you discover things later as well. So when you actually come to the point when you're making a statement, it tends to happen that the first things that you saw is incorporated into your statement. Why? Not purposely, but eventually you saw everything, you saw the big picture. So in this case, what would have happened is, if we continue with the investigation, I would have presented a statement at the end indicating everything that I saw as well as from the beginning. Okay. But when I entered there, not at the stage, I didn't see the baseball bat.
Yes, I understand that. I'm just trying to ascertain the extent of your first observation.
Now, that is the challenging one.
Yes. That is it?
That's a challenging one, as I said, if you is involved in the later investigation.
No, of course, but so you were not going into the bedroom, meaning to the bedside. You were in the bedroom, but you turned left down the passage going to the bathroom.
Yes, that is
Is
correct.
my understanding correct?
That is the
And
understanding.
what you observed just before turning to the left to go down the passage, you observed what you've just explained.
That's correct, madam.
You then decided to follow the blood spatter,
That is correct.
which my understanding is followed the path down the passage to the bathroom,
That is
between
correct.
the cupboards.
That is correct.
And that is where you observed, close to the entrance of the bathroom, in the passage still a empty cartridge.
That is correct,
The
madam.
spent card.
Empty cartridge, spin
yeah.
cartridge.
And you then turned into the bathroom. Still with Hilton Botha.
That is correct.
Who was leading?
At that stage, I wouldn't say. I don't know what. I can't say who was leading because we was together. We couldn't come in first. He was in the beginning when we entered the bathroom, the main bedroom. He was in the front. If you ask me now if you turn right or you turn left, I can't remember. But as we went through the passage, then I saw. That's why I'm saying I saw the spin cartridge. I can't remember if he saw it with me because we didn't talk about who saw it first. But that is what I.
That you draw his attention to it.
Some of the things that I saw, I draw his attention to, and some of the things that he saw, he draws his attention to me.
So there was communication between
There was communication between us.
you. So you're in the bathroom and there you observed a number of things.
That is correct.
How long did you stay in the bathroom?
We was there for a while. If I say for a while, I can't say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but as we were standing, we went through from this point to that point and that point, picking up what we saw, and just to establish what really, or what we thought happens there, to get the impression what we have to do and investigate further.
You did not disturb anything in the bathroom?
Nothing at all.
You did not see Mr. Hilton Botha disturbing anything in the bathroom?
Nothing.
Picking anything up, moving
Nothing.
anything?
Nothing. We didn't touch anything. No.
And then from the bathroom, where did you go to then?
I turned around and I went, because my reasoning was the information that I received is that the accused said that he shot the intruder, or he thought that River was the intruder, and that is why the shot was fired. So my intention of an investigation was to determine if there was an intruder. And that's why when I left the bathroom, I went past the main bed, and I went out of the open door onto the patio, that stoop area.
Would that be, if I may ask, through the sliding door of the main bed?
Sliding door of the main bed, that's correct.
Onto the patio there?
That is correct.
Was that to look if you can see anything suspicious?
Anything suspicious. What I did is, while I was standing on this patio stoop, if you access the sliding door, you turn left. I turned left and I start looking there. Then on the bottom of the outside wall of the house, there was ladders. Now, I can't tell if it's 3 or 4 or 5, but it was not one. It was, I think it's 3, maybe more than 3, if it's not 3. Ladders where they were stretched on top one of one another, but they was lying flat. They was lying flat on the ground. And then I turned again around, and that stoop there's also, I turn around and I go into the, into the main bedroom, back into the main bedroom.
Still with Hilton Botha?
Hilton, at that stage I don't think he was outside with me. He was still inside.
So you did not see what he was doing inside?
No, I didn't.
Did you, when going through the bedroom to the balcony, did you observe something new that you've not seen before with your first observation?
No, nothing at all. And even with Warrant Officer Botha, he still had everything that he had with him. He didn't have anything with him, but he didn't touch, he didn't take anything, he didn't have anything in his hands. He was just...
Yes, and you yourself, you did not pick up anything?
Not at all, my lady.
And did you observe anything new that you've not seen at a time when you just entered the bedroom?
When I entered back into the bedroom, then this, the right-hand side of the bed, that cables that was lying there, as it indicated on the photo, I noticed that. Then we went around, because it was very surprising for me, these two blockies, as I said, on the left-hand side.
So you focused on that?
I focused on that because I don't know why, but that just happened. So I went around to the left-hand side, and then I noticed the holster, the firearm holster lying in the bed.
Just to avoid any possible confusion, when you talk about the left-hand side, it is when you face the bed where the headboard of the bed would be.
That is correct.
That left-hand side, not when you're lying on the bed.
Yeah. If you actually
when you're standing at the bottom end and looking at the bed.
That is correct.
That's that left-hand side.
That is correct.
So you went around because you focused on the pluckies, and what did you do there?
And then, as I said, then I observed the holster that was lying on the bedside table, on the left-hand side.
On the bedside table. Yeah. Did you pick it up?
No, I didn't pick it up. I just left it.
Were you acutely aware that you should not disturb the scene?
I didn't disturb and I didn't pick it up.
Did you have that awareness?
Yes.
And what was Mr. Botha doing at that time?
I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was doing that time, my lady.
And then, what did you then do? Did you go out? Did you remain there?
Yes. Then I went out of the main bedroom, my lady. Then I accessed the first bedroom next to the main bedroom.
Where was Mr. Botha now?
I don't know at that stage where he was at that stage.
You can't say that he was with you.
I don't believe, I can't remember.
You tend to
I
drop
don't, no, he was not with me when I entered that bed.
So he stayed behind in the...
I don't know if he stayed behind or if he was in the passage, but he didn't want to move me.
But he was not with you.
That's correct.
So you went into, was it another bedroom?
I went into the bed, that first in-suite bedroom next to the main bedroom.
And what did you do in there?
There I also went to the windows. All the window was locked, and also the door was locked. There was a key in the door, and I took the, what you call, this curtain you can see through. I took it and it was locked, the key as well was locked. And it was being the key of that particular door. So there was no, nothing is disturbed and nobody entered there as well.
I'm sorry, I just forgot to ask something in the bathroom. I'm taking you back to the main bathroom. You saw the open bathroom window. Is it correct that the toilet window was closed?
I'm not aware of the toilet window.
Did you not see a toilet window?
Yes, I'm not aware of the bathroom window, as indicated in the photo, with the
With the blinds on top?
The blinds on top.
And the frosted glass?
Yes. That one I looked out and I personally look out of the window.
And the toilet window?
No.
Did not see it?
There's no toilet window. There's no toilet window.
There's no toilet window?
That I saw, yeah.
You thought I wanted to catch you out by saying there's a toilet window. There is a toilet window.
Is that?
You didn't see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Now, lady, would it be an opportune time?
We'll take our tea break. Court will adjourn.